Hello guys, hope you're all doing well. So this is the 13th session of our DET prep class or Duolingo English test preparation class. So as usual, we are talking about the question types that you're going to face with them on the real test of Duolingo. Before moving to the last two question types that we should discuss about them for this session, let's dig into the previous question types that we learned about. Let's recap them and review them. Then we'll move on to these question types. So the last question type that we have spoken about, that was summarize the conversation. This summarizing the conversation was in fact the conversation that you previously on the listen and respond part you had it with the robot. So we have spoken about how to do this conversation with the robot, how to respond, how to listen and respond to that question type. And in summarize the conversation, we have spoken that you have just 75 seconds to summarize all the conversation you have had with the robot. And if your performance was good in this question type, your literacy and production score gets higher or increases. And before these two question types, which were listen and respond and summarize the conversation, we have spoken about title the passage. Title the passage was one of the reading question types, which there was a passage on the left side of the screen of the computer, and on the right side there are four potential titles for the passage, and you are supposed to choose one of the titles as a good title for the passage. And before that, you had identify the idea question type, which in identify the idea, again, there is a passage and you're supposed to select the idea that is expressed in the passage. So this was another question type which you had on the reading part of the Duolingo English test. Okay, so the previous one was highlight the answer, which you were supposed to highlight the answer for the question which they ask you. So these were question types that we have previously spoken about. And before highlight the answer, we had complete the passage for the question for the reading part, which a sentence was missing. And there on the right side of the screen, there are four statements which you're supposed to select one of them, and it goes to the this question type goes to the subscores category of literacy and comprehension. Before that was complete the sentence, which is also a kind of reading question, which there are some missing words, and you click on every option. There in the options there are approximately 4 words, and you select one of them as an appropriate word for the blank. And before that was listen then speak, which was out of the reading part. So in listening and then speak, there was a question, and you had 90 seconds to speak or to respond to that question. So these were some previous question types that we have spoken about. So in fact, in this session, we are going to talk about the writing sample and the speaking sample, which are the two last question types in the Duolingo English test. And again, I want to note that these two question types are the most significant and important parts, or the most important question types, because when you share your score to a college or university, in fact, your sample writing and your sample speaking also will be shared with them. And also most of the time, even the universities, they ask you for your Duolingo writing sample or for your Duolingo speaking sample. Sometimes even they use from the speaking sample of your Duolingo English test as their interview. So this much significant and important these two question types are. So let's dig into writing sample and focus on writing sample. What is the writing sample? The description, the subscores category, the length of time which you are supposed to do that, and tips for answering this question type. Guys, the directions says that the writing sample asks you to write about the topic below for 5 minutes. So they give you a topic and you have 5 minutes to talk about the topic. And for this question type, you will be given a written prompt. You will write at length for at least 30 minutes. So if you write at least for 3 minutes, the next button will turn below, and you can click on that. But please don't do that. And also, you're supposed to note that the directions appear for 30 seconds before recording begins. And during this time, you will read and consider the prompt and prepare to respond. So that's it. These are things which you're supposed to or you're required to keep in mind about the writing sample that for 30 seconds before starting the writing, you have time to think about it, okay? To prepare yourself for writing. And for the subscores category, this question type belongs to literacy and production. If you do well in this question type, it means your literacy and production score will increase. And that's it. There is the topic here on the left side. The title is here, which says write about the topic below for 5 minutes. So that's it. You have 5 minutes to write about this topic. Keep this in mind. And that's it. Then on the left side in this part, you have the title. This is not in fact just a title. It's a prompt. You're supposed to read it carefully. And on the right side, here is a box. You can write your response. And minimum, you have 3 minutes for this question. Maximum 5 minutes. What does it mean? It means if you write for 3 minutes, this button will turn below, and you can click on next. But please don't do that, because as much as you write, that much score you get. So if you write more than, for example, than 50 words, at least you should write 50 words. And if you write more than 50 words, so chances are that you will get a good score. So maximum you have 5 minutes. So it means if you for example wanted to type more than 5 minutes, so you will not be allowed to do that, because after 5 minutes the question will automatically move on to the next part. So that's why you have maximum 5 minutes. So that's it. On the left side we have the prompt, but before discussing about the prompt, let's come here and talk about the tips. Interacting with the question. So how to interact, how to do well in this question type. So it says, practice good writing habits. Vary your sentence structure and word choice, and express a variety of thoughts with logical transitions. So these are the things that we have spoken about previously. The first one is vary your sentences. So when they ask you to vary your sentences, they're asking you to write simple statements, okay? Also to write compound statements, compound sentences. I'm sorry for the typing. And also compound complex sentences. Compound complex sentences. Use from all these 3 sentence structures. Don't stick just with the simple sentences or with the compound sentences. The most powerful sentences are compound and compound complex sentences. So try to vary them. And also word choice is also important. If you just choose very simple and basic English words to show your ability of writing, so in fact it shows that you're weak in writing, and they test raters will consider you a weak writer because they see that you are using just the simple words. But if you use from academic words, and if you use from academic vocabulary, it means, and if you understand how to use a word and where to use that word, so this means that your writing is really good and you are a good writer. So this helps the most. And that's it. That's the whole thing you have. Try to use from different kind of vocabularies and express a variety of thoughts with logical transitions. Keep in mind that transitions are also considered very crucial here, because transitions are also important because they can help you to connect these sentences. And the next question type which you have here, that is make sure, the next tip which you have here, that is make sure to leave time to check your spelling, grammar, and punctuation. Spelling, grammar, and punctuation are the most important things that you should keep in mind, and you should check them out, okay? So, as you know, spelling, grammar, and punctuation, these things will affect negatively. If your spelling is not good, if your punctuation is not good, or if the grammar is not good, they will affect negatively on your score. So you will not get a good score if you have problems on these parts. And the next step says the topic will be shared with the recipients of your results, so make sure your response is relevant to the topic. Yeah, when they say with the recipient of your results, they mean the universities you share your scores. And then think of this as a short essay. The recipients of your results may use the writing sample as additional information about your writing skills here. Yeah, so these are the things that we have spoken about previously. So that's it. This is the whole thing we have for the writing sample. On the left side it says describe behaviors. Yeah, however, on the last session we have spoken about this question type so much, but I just wanted to recap it. Describe behaviors that are important for success in a school. Why are these behaviors important? How would some of these behaviors help you? Use examples from personal experience and observations to explain your response. So we have spoken about this prompt so much, and that's it. This is the whole story about the writing sample of the test. So I just recapped it. So the most important thing that we have for this session, that is the speaking sample that we are going to talk about. So what you have on the speaking sample, what are you required to do, and how should you, for example, organize your speaking? And this is the last question type that you have on the real test day. So that's the speaking part, the speaking sample. The speaking sample asks you to speak about the topic below for 30 minutes. So they give you 3 minutes and there is a topic and you're supposed to talk about that topic for 3 minutes. And that's it, for 3 minutes. So for this question type, you will read a written prompt. Then you will speak at length about the topic shown. And note that the directions appear for 30 seconds before recording begins, and during this time you will read and consider the prompt and prepare to respond. So that's it. Just keep in mind that you have 30 seconds to prepare for this for responding to this question. So that's it. Just keep in mind this. So as I told you, you have 30 seconds to prepare for this response. So yeah, you have 30 seconds, and it's really good to organize your talk, to outline with yourself in your mind, okay? Because there's no paper, there's no pen, you don't have anything to write, and that's it. You just try to outline it in your mind and try to outline a good format for your speaking. So that's it. And these 30 seconds are really a good chance for you to outline your speaking. So on the sub-scores category, it goes to the conversation and production part. It means if you do well in this question type, your conversation and production score will increase. And minimum you have 1 minute, maximum you have 3 minutes. So it means if you speak for 1 minute, this submit button turns below. Submit means that you are going to submit the whole test because this is the last question type. And that's it. And you have a maximum 3 minutes. So I suggest all of you to talk for 3 minutes. 3 minutes is not a very big deal. And yeah, you can talk about it. So it's really, really good to talk about, because if your grammar is good, if your vocabulary is good, if your ability to use English is good, so if you speak as much as you speak, that much your score will increase. So that's it. You have the title here, speak about the topic below for 3 minutes. And this is the topic inside a box. It's in fact a very long topic. You need that 30 seconds to think about this topic, okay? And then that's it. There is a recording button. You click on that recording and recording starts after 30 seconds. If you click on the recording button before 30 seconds, it will start recording. But if you don't click on that button after 30 seconds, it will automatically start recording. So what are the tips? For your tips, you in fact have interacting with the question. It says do not watch the timer as it may distract you from thinking and speaking clearly. Exactly. This is a very important and crucial thing. I want to just draw a start next to that, because I'm sure most of you have experienced that when you are speaking and when you watch the timer, in fact, the organization and the outline of your thought really destroys. You don't understand what to say. Really, everything destroys because you push yourself to talk according to the timer, and this is really not good. Just keep in mind that you have 3 minutes, so that's it. Just have a short speaking for 3 minutes and don't watch to the timer so much. And the next one is keep talking at least until the next button turns below, and speak even longer if you can. Then come to a natural conclusion before clicking next to finish and submit the recording. Yeah, guys, it's really, really good to have the conclusion. So it means every talk should start with an introduction and end with a conclusion. So starting with an introduction, every writing piece or every speaking piece which you have, if you start that with a introduction with an introduction and end it with a summary or end it with a conclusion, it shows that you are academically a good candidate. So you are someone who understands academic language. So that's it. And the next step says, practice speaking about a topic in English for 1 to 3 minutes before taking the test so you are familiar with the length. Yeah, this is a very good suggestion, okay? So choose topics for your practicing for the test. For practicing for the test, just choose a topic and talk naturally for practicing. Talk about that topic for 1 up to 3 minutes, and this will help you automatically your brain to be ready for this part, okay? To be ready to talk for 3 minutes, and this is really good. And the next tip that we have here, remember that the speaking sample will be sent as a video recording, so the recipients of your score will be able to see you during this response. So that's it. So they really want you to see during response. So keep in mind that it should be a good piece of your speaking. And the last step here says that the topic will be shared with the recipients. Recipients are the universities or any other organization you sent your scores. The topic will be shared with the recipients of your results. So make sure your response is relevant to the topic and do your best to show your speaking skills. So that's it. This is also something that you should keep in mind. Okay guys, so these are all the tips that we have. So let's talk about this prompt. What does the prompt exactly says? It says, information comes from many sources, including the people around us, the media, and even our own thoughts. How do you decide which information is most important to focus? Yeah, most important to focus, information. These are keywords. Information is also a keyword here, okay? Information, because the topic is information. Information comes from many sources, including the people around us, the media, and even our own thoughts. How do you decide which information is most important to focus on? Okay, so you're supposed to do this. In fact, you're supposed to keep in mind that in your point of view, which kind of information is called are considered most important. And describe a time when you filtered out some sources of information to give other sources your full attention. Include details and examples in your response. So details and examples are considered very important. So yeah, so this is the prompt. I think it's better for us to have a practice on this prompt. So the prompt is really clear. I give you around, that says 30 seconds, but I give you around 1 minute, all of you. And then each one of you who are willing to talk, just raise your hands and I'll let you to talk about this prompt. And you have 3 minutes to talk. Information comes from many sources, including the people around us, the media, and even our own thoughts. How do you decide which information is most important to focus on? Describe a time when you filtered out some sources of information to give other sources your full attention. Include details and examples in your answer. Guys, in fact, the second part of the prompt says that you are allowed to tell your own stories. Tell about a time which you have decided which information to be considered important for you and which one considered less important. And it means you can give the examples or tell the examples of your real life as well. So that's it. Your time starts now. You have 1 minute to prepare. Okay, so it's time for you to raise your hands if you want to talk about this prompt. So yeah, here we have 2 candidates which they have raised their hands. So the first one, Miss Anisgol Rasuli. Bana Rasuli, please unmute yourself and start speaking about this prompt. Bana Rasuli.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. So start speaking about the prompt.
Okay. Information comes from many sources, including people, the media, and then our own thoughts. I think it is true that information comes with it. And I think that the information that comes from these resources not very reliable or true, because when there's something about something or hear something about an issue, and when they want to talk about that issue, they add something from their own. And also in social media, as we are witness, some false or some fake information are broadcasted in social media. So we can't trust all the information that broadcast in social media. And the reliable information we can find in books that we can study books, and also our own thoughts that, for example, when we go somewhere, we experience something, and that is the first-hand information that we can, by our own experience, we can experience, or we can see that in our life.
Okay, continue. Still, you have time.
For
Okay,
5 minutes, I should start.
no, just 3 minutes is enough. 3 minutes is enough. So that's okay. That's okay. So that was, yeah, that was nice. But just I want to have some comments. Firstly, you're not required to recap the question, okay? So please don't restate or recap the question again. So because you don't need for that, okay? You don't need for recapping the question. Just specifically dig into the answer, okay? Just to start telling your answer, and yeah, that was good. But I was waiting for the conclusion, okay? This start was good, but try to add a conclusion to your speaking as well, okay? For example, when you started, let me tell you the structure. Tell introduction, okay? In introduction, tell about the thesis statement. The thesis statement and the purpose that you have. For example, how many reasons will you tell? For example, you say that yeah. For example, you say about this topic. For example, let me show you that. You say, for example, that yeah, there are many ways which I decide whether an information is important to me or not, which I want to dig about those ways here in my speaking. The first way is, and just to start, for example, talking about the first way, and then give the reasons, give the examples, and then the second way, give the reasons, they give the examples, give the supporting statements, and at the end of your talk, try to say finally, blah, 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 or in conclusion, for example, I consider informations very important, which are very important to me in these ways, okay? So at all, that was very nice. Thank you. Okay, the next person, Mariam Hosseini. Bano Hosseini, please unmute yourself and start speaking.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Okay, in this talking, I'm going to tell you about that the most important information to focus on is factual and reliable information from credible sources. And in here, the most important information to focus, the first, it depends on the context and our specific goals or needs. So, however, I have some general guidelines that we must follow it. So the first one, those information that they are credible, and it is crucial to prioritize information from reliable and trustworthy sources such as reputable news outlets, academic journals, and experts in this field. That it can help us to ensure that this information that we receive is accurate information that is directly related to our goals or interests, and determine what specific knowledge or insights we need to achieve our objectives. And we must prioritize gathering information in these areas as well. The third one, it can be timelines. We must stay updated with the current events and developments in our field of interest time-sensitive information, it can be somehow crucial for making informed decisions or staying relevant with those information, and those information that there are diverse perspectives. So we can say that we must seek out a variety of viewpoints and opinions on those given topics. And also the benefits of this one, it can be that help us to gain a more comprehensive and understanding of the subject, that we can encourage our critical thinking as well. And also one important point that I want to mention is it can be personal experience. We our own experience or thoughts, observations, it can also provide valuable insights as well, and we must reflect on our own experiences that can help us make better decisions and understanding how certain information applies to our unique circumstance. So to sum up my talking, we must remember that it's important to critically evaluate all the informations that we come across, and regardless of its source or relevance as well. And developing a strong critical thinking skills will help us between reliable information and misinformation bias.
Okay, that was really, really nice. Okay, thank you so much. I really liked the way you've presented. So that was really nice. Okay, so everything was good. So let me tell you which things were considered really good inside we're speaking. The structure was really good. You started with an introduction, okay, with a body and with a conclusion. Okay, these structures are, guys, even the structures are much more important than the contents. Okay, what you say inside your speaking, it means the amount of accuracy of information is not important. The accuracy of information is not important. Even if you feel comfortable, you can even say lie inside your speaking. For example, inside your speaking, you say that I really like to play football. I'm a very good, it means fan of football. But maybe this is not true about you. So this is not important. It means whether the information is true or false, that's not important. What is important is that how do you structure the information? How do you outline the information? Is the grammar good? Is the pronunciation good? So these are the things which you get a score from them. So don't stop speaking. Just continue. Tell your thoughts. Grammar, accuracy, vocabulary, using different words. At all, the word setting were really good. So you have used from different kinds of academic words, like inside, like these things, okay? And also you had a nice conclusion. And that was really nice. If you do this kind of speaking on the test, on the real test, be sure that you will get a very good score. Thank you. Okay, the next person that we have here, Hogay Stanexay. Bana Stanexay, you can unmute yourself and start speaking.
In the name of Allah, can you hear me, teacher?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
In the name of Allah, I started from now.
Okay.
Every day we face with different information from different sources of different sites about various things. In my opinion, sharing information or facing information in social media is important for me and can attach my full attention because from social media or I can hear and read about different news which are about war, sports, and other things. For instance, the heart accident was so serious for the world, and the BBC and CNN are so famous in social media, and all the world can take or hear about this accident from these two important and if because people has a real trust to these social media parts and if they didn't share good information or real information can't know about different accidents in the world. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, thanks a million. Yeah, your speaking was really nice. But also keep in mind some of the factors which I want to say. The first one is that, your introduction and the beginning was good, but the closing was not as good as the beginning. Okay, try to make a good closing for your speaking. For example, use some transitions like to sum up, to conclude, or in conclusion, or finally. Okay, so these are transitions which can help you so much to show to your listener that you are closing your speaking. So this is also crucial. Keep in mind this. And one more thing I want to tell you that don't make a lot of pauses inside your speaking. Okay, after every word, having a max makes your speaking boring for the person who is listening to. Okay, keep in mind that if you even replace these kind of maxes with a quiet mode, that will be much more powerful, like the politicians speak. Okay, for example, if you say, every single day we are facing to different kind of information from different sources, which it makes it difficult for us to believe in these information. These information can affect positively and negatively in our life. For instance, in Herat we had an earthquake and it was a very big disaster. And publications like CNN and BBC have a lot of news about this tragedies, problem or disaster. Okay? It means when you say the statements, have a max between the statements. Okay, keep quiet for 1 second. Having a max between the statements make your speaking powerful. It shows that you are very strengthened in your speaking. Your speaking is very, for example, your speaking is in your own control, and you have the full control on your speaking. And this is really a very good. It can be considered a very good point. So keep in mind that don't, for example, pause. Okay, in your pauses, don't say ah. Okay, between every word. Just instead keep quiet. Okay, and try to not to just make the pauses between every word. Make the pauses between the statements, between the sentences, and this makes it very interesting. Okay, at all that was very nice. Thank you so much.
Teacher, I collect many details and supporting sentence, and I also had a conclusion, but I feel during the talking
exactly
and forget many things.
Yeah, exactly. So of course, in this gathering of us, which we are here around 36 students are here, so this gathering itself has a kind of stress, but keep in mind that the real test, has a stress much more difficult than this situation. Okay, stress is something which is always on the test, whether it's easy or difficult. Any kind of test it is, they have their stress with themselves, but one thing you can do is to overcome this stress. If you want to get a good score, you need to overcome this stress. Yeah, I got it, but try to work more on transitions, which transitions can help you divide or classify your information and also try to consider the gaps, okay? Try to make pauses between the statements, not between every single word, and try to speak more, okay? Give a topic for yourself, speak about that topic, and send your voice, for example, to someone for feedbacks, or talk to a friend which understands English, okay? As much as you talk, that much your stress will decrease, and you will be much better in speaking. Okay, at all, that was really nice. Thank you. Okay, so the next person that we have here, which is the last person, Hadia John Karimi. Bono Karimi, please unmute yourself and start speaking about that topic.
Hello, sir. Hope you're doing well. Can you hear me?
Hello, thank you. Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Okay. So, by the name of Allah, I just want to talk about and have some about the focusing on the information and researches. First of all, we should say that nowadays we are living in a world that when we face with something, we definitely need to find some information and have something to know about this. So we live in a like world nowadays that the technology has the technology is developed and we can easily find information from different sources, but the thing is really important that we should focus is on treating that the validity of information, the information should be up to date, and the sample size of information. I mean that this information has conducted. Information is collected between how many people, how many groups, and also this information when this information conducted and how this research has conducted. This thing is really important. The first thing that I want to talk about that when we want to take information from some sources, what should we from which things we should focus. The first thing is validity. We should focus on the validity of the information. We the source of information, that what is the source of this information, which researcher or which source has conducted collected this information and conducted the researches for this information. The source should be valid. We should always focus on those information that they are valid and the source is very valid and reliable. The second thing is that the researcher or the source must not be biased. For example, when a person wants to take some information about the junk food, they will about the advantages of the junk food. He will tell that the junk food or the fast food has disadvantages, and these benefits. And between or at the last part of his information, he should tell that despite or although that the junk food has these benefits, it will cause diversity. It has disadvantages too. So the source and the researcher and the information must not be biased. The both sides should be equal, and the researcher should not be biased and take the both sides and talk about the advantages and disadvantages too. It will support our information very well. So, and also we should focus on the date of information. We should realize that, and we should realize and consider that this information is up to date, and this information is conducted by a very reliable source. I mean, we can find some information that the source is a mobile phone or some small group of people. We should not trust in this kind of information. We should know that this information is conducted and has collected by a very reliable source, and the researcher is a high group of people. And also we should consider that this information is conducted, or this research is conducted between high number of people. It should for example, if I take example for you, when we want to have a research or information about a classroom or about the fee of a school, the researcher should ask from a high number of students, should not ask from the 2 or 3 students or one class or 2 class. It should ask and conduct the research between the entire school, and it will it is just an example, and I just want to ensure you that this kind of information will be more reliable. So I don't want to talk too much. To sum up, I just want to tell you that when we want to take information or we want to collect information, we should always focus on the source, on the date, and also that how this information has collected and has conducted.
Okay, thank you so much. That was so nice, but you've spoken so much. Okay, just keep the range of 3 minutes, okay? Because you don't have time more than 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, automatically the recording will be stopped. So when you are speaking, put a timer with yourself, and on the test, just sometimes have a look to the timer to make sure that you have, for example, your conclusion in a proper place. So at all, I want to say that was good. You had the introduction, you had the conclusion, you had the body. In the body, you have spoken, you have stated the supporting sentences, you have stated the examples, the details, and everything was fine. But the first thing, don't talk so much, okay? Don't expand so much about the topic because you don't have that much time. 3 minutes is not so much. For example, spend around a half minutes, or around, for example, around half of the minute for the introduction, about half of a minute for conclusion. And you have still 2 minutes. 1 minute for one reason, another minute for another reason. This kind of classification will be the best. Okay, 30 seconds introduction, 30 seconds conclusion. 1 minute, one of the reasons, another minute, another reason. So at least for the topic which you're talking, when they ask you, for example, for the reasons or for the examples, so give at least 2 reasons and 2 examples. And in 1 minute do that. This kind of structuring the time will really, really help you. 30 seconds introduction. 1 minute the first reason. Another minute the second reason. And the last 30 seconds the conclusion. This kind of a structuring will really be helpful. And the next one is calm down. Don't be worried about it, okay? Because when you were talking, you were somehow talking so fast, and you seemed not to be very comfortable. So please be comfortable, okay? Just keep in mind that it's just a test, and just it's not a very big deal. And don't be stressed, okay? Don't be stressed. Don't make yourself under pressure. And just try to keep relaxed with the computer. So to make this, try to practice so much to make speaking to a computer very easy for yourself, okay? So that's it, guys. Banu Nasreen, do you want to speak?
No, sir. Hello, sir. I hope you are doing well. Sir,
Hello.
I have a question regarding a topic.
Okay,
How should
okay,
we
that's
talk? For example,
that's okay.
sometimes
Right
the
now it's
student
time
can-
for your questions. So
Okay.
tell me your question.
Okay, sometimes there are many students that the idea don't come in their mind when they heard about the topic. So what he or she do?
Okay.
There-
You are in fact
there
you are
is-
yeah. You want to say something?
No, sir.
Okay. You are in fact supposed to have an idea, because if you don't have an idea, you don't have something to tell. Okay? So that 30 seconds is in fact because of this. Okay? 30 seconds. When they say you have 30 seconds before recording begins, so what does it mean? It means you have these 30 seconds, and that is these 30 seconds is in fact something that's a time for you to prepare your talk, to think about the idea that about this prompt, what can you tell? Just think about it, okay? And find at least 2 reasons for that. And you're supposed to do that. And those 30 seconds are for this.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So if there is
I myself face this problem whenever the teacher or the tutor give me any kind of topic. So at that time, I cannot guess an idea about that topic. I don't know why.
Okay, yeah, maybe it's the lack of study. Try to study more, whether in Persian language or in English language. Try to keep in touch with different topics. Okay, with different topics.
Okay.
When you keep in touch with different topics and when you explore different topics, when you study more, so exactly you will have more ideas to talk about. Okay, studying is really important, whether in English or in Persian. Try to make yourself very addicted to studying, and that's just try to study more. This is the only thing that can help you to generate ideas in your mind for any prompt in classrooms, in tests, or anything like that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. So if there is any other question, so please raise your hands. Bono Hogai, looks like you have a question.
Yes, I have a suggestion, teacher.
Mm-hmm.
You had built the practice group in WhatsApp, but you didn't share any practices.
Any practices? So yeah, we will start practicing for the questions, for the question types after the course. Okay. So just 2 other sessions of the course are remained. Okay. Tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, and after that, so we are not going to have the meetings. Okay. We just will have practice on the group.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So if there is any other questions, so please raise your hands. Bono Rasuli, looks like you have some questions.
Yes, sir. I wanted to ask you, don't you focus on exact skills like and 4 skills that we need to improve the strategies that you work on those and skills and strategies that can help us to improve better? I mean, you don't these were the strategies for the Duolingo English too. But on 4 skills that we need some good strategies that we can improve our skills in these improve our abilities in these 4 skills. You don't talk or you don't have some class.
Okay, yeah, I think I got your question. You are asking about some more strategies for these 4 skills, like reading, listening, speaking, and writing. Yeah, I know that. We have spoken about these 4 strategies just in the scale and in the format of Duolingo. In the format of Duolingo, things which I told you during the process were things that you need for your test. But mostly we talk about those strategies in the TOEFL preparation classes, because in TOEFL it's really crucial to have those general skills, but in Duolingo it's not so much a very, for example, big deal. That's why we have spoken about them, but very less, not so much. Okay, you can yourself have a try for that, and also if possible I would share you some TOEFL contents, okay, that they talk about, for example, how to develop your speaking skill, how to develop your writing skill, your listening skill, your reading skill. Okay, we particularly focus on those things in the TOEFL preparation courses. But in Duolingo, we have, in the process of this course, we have spoken about the strategies just as much, which is as much as important for the Duolingo test, not so much. Okay. Guys, it looks like the meeting is going to be ended. So if there is no more questions, thank you so much for tuning into the class. I hope this session was helpful. And for all those students who are watching us through YouTube, if you have any question, you can just write down your questions on the comments, and have a good time. Goodbye.